Listen to me. Before you talk about healing, before you talk about peace, before you talk about mental health, you got to talk about a truth, because the truth is the foundation. You can't heal from what you keep hiding. You can't fix what you keep pretending isn't broken. Too many of us walk around smiling like everything's fine, but inside we're falling apart. We post pictures looking strong, but we're crumbling in silence. The problem is not that you're weak. The problem is that you're not being real. You've been taught to be strong, to keep it together, to act like nothing gets to you. But let me tell you something. Real strength isn't in pretending. Real strength is in admitting. Real strength is when you say, I'm not okay right now, but I'm ready to deal with it. That's where healing begins. Because awareness is the first freedom. When you see it, you can change it. But if you keep lying to yourself, if you keep running from the mirror, that same pain will run your life every single day. I remember talking to someone who said, I don't know what's wrong with me, I just feel stuck. And I told them, you're not stuck. You're just scared to face the truth. You're scared to admit that you're tired, that you're angry, that you've been hurt, that you're afraid. Because the moment you acknowledge it, you've got to do something about it. See, awareness isn't always comfortable. It's confrontation. It's you versus you. And that's the hardest battle you'll ever fight. But hear me, that battle is the one that sets you free. When you get real with yourself, everything starts to shift. You start recognizing your patterns. You start noticing what triggers you. You start catching those moments when your thoughts spiral out of control. That's when the work begins. That's when mental health becomes active, not passive. Because awareness doesn't mean overthinking. It means understanding. It means being conscious of what's happening in your mind instead of being controlled by it. But here's the catch. Awareness requires courage. It takes courage to sit down with your own thoughts without running to your phone, turning on music without distracting yourself. It takes courage to ask, why am I really angry? Why do I keep going back to what hurts me? Why do I sabotage myself? You can't heal what you refuse to look at. Some of you are not struggling because you're broken. You're struggling because you're blind to what's breaking you. You've got to open your eyes. You've got to look at the pain you buried years ago. The loss, the betrayal, the guilt, the shame, all of it. Because what you don't face becomes a cage. You think you're moving on, but really you're just decorating your prison cell. You're changing jobs, changing friends, changing cities. But the pain, the mindset, the fear, it moves right with you. Because it's not out there, it's in here. And the moment you decide to stop running, that's the moment you take your power back. That's the beginning of healing. When everything is perfect, not when the pain is gone, but when you finally say, I see it now, I know what's been holding me back, and I'm ready to deal with it. That's awareness. That's the key that unlocks the door to real mental health. So before you go chasing peace, start by facing your truth, because you can't change your life until you're real about your life. Awareness isn't weakness. It's the first freedom. The moment you finally stop hiding from yourself and start becoming yourself. See, most people think that if they change their job, their city, their friends, or their relationship, everything will get better. They believe peace is somewhere out there. But let me tell you the truth. Your mind is your real environment. You can move to a new place. You can surround yourself with different people. But if your mind is still chaotic, you're just bringing the same storm to a new sky. You can't run from what's in your head. You can't escape what you refuse to clean up inside. Because no matter where you go, you take a you with you. It's crazy how we treat our physical spaces better than our mental ones. You'll clean your room, wash your car, organize your desk. But when's the last time you organized your thoughts? When's the last time you decluttered your mind? We live in a world that teaches us how to look good on the outside, but never how to feel good on the inside. And that's why so many people look alive but feel dead, because they're living in a dirty mental house, one full of fear, doubt, and negative self-talk. And they don't even realize it's suffocating them. You can't find peace in a place that's polluted with your own thoughts. You can't plant seeds of success in soil that's full of resentment and regret. If you want to breathe again, if you want to think clearly, if you want your mind to be a home instead of a battlefield, you've got to start cleaning house. That means catching those toxic thoughts before they settle. That means challenging those voices that tell you you're not enough. That means choosing what you feed your mind with, because what you consume becomes what you believe. Every day, your mind is under attack. Every scroll, every comparison, every lie you tell yourself, it's all shaping your environment. And if you don't take control of it, it'll control you. That's why it's not enough to change your surroundings. You've got to renew your mindset. Because when your mind is strong, your environment stops defining you. You can be in chaos and still have peace. You can be surrounded by pressure and still walk with power. Because peace isn't a place, it's a decision you make inside your mind every single day. I need you to understand mental health isn't just about surviving, it's about building a space in your head where you can live freely. You have to treat your thoughts like guests. Some thoughts deserve a seat at the table, and some need to be shown the door. Stop renting space in your mind to fear. Stop giving anxiety the keys to your peace. Start setting boundaries, even in your thinking. Because the moment you take ownership of your mental space, you stop being a victim of your environment and start becoming the architect of it. And listen, that doesn't mean it's easy. You'll have days when your thoughts are loud, when your emotions try to drown you, when everything feels heavy. But those are the days when you have to sit still and say, this is my mind, and I'm not letting it destroy me. You take that pain, that stress, that chaos, and you transform it. You breathe through it. You talk through it. You work through it. Because cleaning your mental space isn't a one-time job, it's a daily discipline. You owe it to yourself to build a mind you can live in peacefully. Because the world outside will always shift. People will change. Seasons will change. Circumstances will change. But if your mind is grounded, you won't be shaken. You'll stand firm in the storm. You'll find clarity in the confusion. You'll discover strength in the silence. Because when your mind is right, your life follows. Your mind is your real environment, so make it a place where peace lives. Everybody wants peace of mind, but nobody wants the process that builds it. Everybody wants to feel balanced, calm, strong, but they don't want the discipline that comes with it. You think mental health is just about feeling better, but it's really about doing better. It's not about waiting for motivation to show up. It's about building structure when you don't feel like it. Discipline is therapy in disguise. The things you do daily, your sleep, your diet, your movement, your routine, that's not just self-improvement, that's self-rescue. You can't expect your mind to function like a champion when your habits are treating it like a dumping ground. You can't wake up at noon, skip meals, doom scroll for hours, and then wonder why your anxiety's high and your energy's low. Your mind is responding to your rhythm. Your emotions are shaped by your habits. So when I say discipline is therapy, I mean the consistency, the order, the structure. They become the walls that hold your mind together when life feels like it's falling apart. See, most people wait for clarity before they act. They wait until they feel right. But you'll never feel right until you do right. You'll never feel peace until you build peace into your routine. Some of you are praying for healing, but you keep breaking your own rhythm. You stay up late, you don't rest, you skip the things that keep you grounded, and then you wonder why your thoughts are racing. It's not just mental, it's practical. Your brain can't process life when your body is out of balance. You think discipline is punishment, but it's actually protection. Every small, consistent action is a brick in your mental foundation. When you wake up on time, when you journal, when you take that walk, when you drink that water, when you breathe before reacting, you're not just checking boxes. You're telling your mind, I'm in control. I'm safe. I've got this. Discipline creates safety, and safety is what your mind craves when it's tired, when it's overwhelmed, when it's hurting. And I get it. Discipline doesn't feel glamorous. It doesn't get applause. It's not loud. It's not dramatic. But it works. Healing isn't always deep conversations and breakthroughs. Sometimes healing is going to bet on time. Sometimes healing is saying no to drama. Sometimes it's turning your phone off and sitting in silence. Sometimes it's doing the boring things consistently until they stop feeling like work and start feeling like peace. You've got to stop waiting for the perfect mood to make the right move. You've got to move even when you don't feel like it. Because every time you show up for yourself, you're training your mind to believe you can. You're teaching your brain that you are not helpless, that you can create structure even in chaos. That structure, that discipline, becomes your therapy. Because when you do what you said you would do, you build trust with yourself. And that's what so many people are missing, trust in themselves. When your word means something to you, your confidence grows, your mind calms, your anxiety shrinks. You start walking differently because you know you can rely on you. That's mental health at its core, not just feeling good, being consistent with what keeps you grounded. You can't talk your way into peace. You've got to practice it. You've got to live it daily. Discipline is the medicine your mind's been begging for. It may not taste sweet, but it heals deep. So if you really want peace, don't wait for it. Not build it. Let's be real, you can't heal alone. I know the world tells you to be independent, to handle it by yourself, to tough it out. But that mindset is destroying people silently, because when life gets heavy, pride whispers, don't let them see you weak. Pride says, handle it yourself. And that's the same pride that keeps you trapped. You start isolating, pulling away, wearing that fake smile like armor, hoping no one notices the cracks. Listen to me, silence is not strength. Silence is suffering. The truth is, connection heals what isolation breaks. You are not meant to fight every battle in your head alone. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can say is, I need help. That's not weakness. That's wisdom. It takes courage to open up. It takes real strength to let someone into the parts of you that feel messy and uncertain. Because when you let someone in, you're not just sharing pain, you're sharing perspective. Sometimes healing doesn't come from answers. It comes from being seen, being heard, being understood. We all want to look strong, but strength without connection becomes a mask. You can lift weights, grind hard, post motivation all day. But if you're dying inside and can't talk to anyone about it, you're not strong, you're stuck. The mind was never designed to carry everything by itself. When you isolate, your thoughts get louder, your fears get stronger, and your hope gets smaller. But the moment you speak, the moment you open your mouth and let it out, that's when the weight starts to lift. Think about it. Every time you've ever had a real conversation, the kind where you said something you'd been holding in for too long, didn't you feel lighter afterward? That's because connection is medicine. Talking, sharing, connecting, it reprograms the mind to remember you're not alone. The pain loses its power when it's exposed to light, but the longer you keep it hidden, the deeper it digs in. Some of you are fighting battles nobody even knows about, because nobody cares, but because you won't let them. You've built walls so high around your emotions that even the people who love you can't reach you. But here's what you need to understand. Those walls don't protect you. They imprison you, and the same vulnerability you're afraid of is the key that opens the door to freedom. And no, it's not about dumping your emotions on everyone. It's about finding safe people, real people, people who listen without judgment. Sometimes it's a friend, sometimes it's a mentor, sometimes it's a counselor, sometimes it's just one honest conversation that shifts your entire mindset. Because when you allow yourself to connect, you give others permission to do the same. And that's how healing multiplies. It moves through connection. Even the strongest people need somebody. You can't carry your whole world and expect to stay steady. Life wasn't meant to be survived in isolation. It's meant to be shared. Healing happens in community. When you let others help you carry the weight, doesn't mean you're broken. It means you're wise enough to know that even the strongest trees grow in forests, not alone. Stop pretending you're okay when you're not. Stop wearing strength like a mask. The moment you choose connection over pride, healing begins. Because you can't heal alone, you heal together. Let me tell you something about pain. Pain is not your enemy. You've been running from it, avoiding it, medicating it, distracting yourself from it. But the truth is, pain is part of your story. Pain doesn't disappear. It doesn't matter how much you wish it away, how many distractions you throw at it, how many positive vibes only posts you scroll past. It's still there, quietly shaping you. But here's the secret: purpose neutralizes pain. When your pain has a purpose, it stops controlling you. It stops being a chain and becomes a tool. Think about it. Every single person you admire, every story you've ever been inspired by, they all went through pain. They all had moments where it felt like the weight of the world was crushing them. What separated them from the people who stayed stuck is that they didn't let the pain define them. They transformed it. They took their hurt, their struggle, their setbacks, and they turned it into fuel. That's what purpose does. It turns your suffering into strength, your trials into testimony, your scars into lessons. The reality is, when you try to avoid pain, you give it power. You allow it to dictate your actions, your thoughts, your relationships. You start living in fear of it, and fear controls you. But when you attach purpose to your pain, suddenly the fear loses its grip. Suddenly every challenge, every setback, every wound becomes a teacher. It becomes a reason to keep going, a reason to grow, a reason to become more than you were yesterday. That's how mental health is built, not by avoiding pain, but by giving it meaning. I need you to hear me. Your pain has value. Yes, your heartbreak, your disappointment, your failure, it has value. You can either let it bury you or let it build you. And the only way it builds you is when you take ownership of it. When you say, I see this hurt, I feel it, I will not let it control me. I will use it. I will learn from it. I will rise because of it. That's how pain becomes a teacher, not a tyrant. Look at your life right now. There are experiences you wish didn't happen. There are moments you'd erase if you could. But guess what? Those moments are shaping you. Those experiences are giving you a depth that no comfort, no success, no easy day could ever give. And when you take your pain and align it with purpose, you stop being a victim. You stop waiting for the world to fix you. You start fixing yourself. You start turning what was meant to hurt you into what will heal you. Purpose isn't just some abstract idea. It's practical. It's showing up every day with the mindset that your struggles are not meaningless. It's using your setbacks to help someone else. It's turning your failures into lessons. It's becoming someone who can stand in the storm and say, I've been through this before. I know how to survive, and now I can help someone else survive too. That's how purpose neutralizes pain. And here's the truth. This doesn't happen overnight. It's a process. You'll feel the sting. You'll feel the grief. You'll feel the frustration. But each time you take a step forward, each time you turn pain into action, you reclaim control. You start to see that the very things that once threatened to destroy you are the same things that will make you unstoppable. Pain with purpose is power. Your suffering, when aligned with intention, stops being an obstacle and becomes a bridge. It becomes the very thing that lifts you higher. And when you finally understand that, mental health stops being a dream and starts being a reality. Your pain doesn't have to break you. It can make you. Let me talk to you about something simple, something powerful, something people often overlook: gratitude. You see, everyone is chasing happiness. Everyone is chasing peace. But most of the time, they're looking in the wrong place. They think if they just get that promotion, that relationship, that car, that house, they'll feel better. But the truth is, peace doesn't come from outside. It comes from inside. And gratitude is the gateway. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's missing to what's already working. It's not about pretending life is perfect. It's about recognizing what's real and valuable in the middle of the struggle. See, your mind is a powerful machine. It can either build you or break you, depending on where you put your attention. When you focus on what you don't have, your mind spirals. You start feeling small, defeated, inadequate. But when you start focusing on what you do have, when you start naming the blessings, the little wins, the people who care, the skills you've developed, suddenly your mind has space to breathe. Gratitude doesn't erase pain. It empowers you to hold it without being crushed by it. Think about it. Some of the strongest people you know didn't get there because life was easy. They got there because they trained themselves to see something good, even in the middle of hardship. They woke up every day, counted their blessings, appreciated the struggle that made them stronger. That's not naive thinking. That's strategy. That's using gratitude as a weapon against stress, anxiety, and mental exhaustion. When your mind practices gratitude, it rewires itself. It begins to notice hope where it didn't see it before. It begins to find opportunity where it thought there was none. And here's the thing, gratitude is active. It's not just saying thank you when things go right. It's noticing what goes right when everything else seems wrong. It's waking up and appreciating your breath, your health, the roof over your head, the people who love you, even the lessons that hurt. It's finding value in the struggle. The more you practice it, the more your mind begins to operate differently. You stop being controlled by scarcity and fear, and you start operating from abundance and strength. Some of you are living in the past, obsessing over mistakes, replaying failures, holding grudges, and all that negativity is poisoning your mental health. But gratitude is the antidote. Gratitude teaches you to see beyond the surface. It teaches you that life is bigger than your problems. Your potential is bigger than your fears, and that every day you survive is proof that you are stronger than you think. When you start living in gratitude, even small moments become victories. Even hard days become lessons. Even losses become preparation for what's next. And it doesn't have to be complicated. It can start with just one thing every day. One thought, one acknowledgement, one moment where you pause and say, I see this. I appreciate this. This matters. And then you do it again tomorrow, and the day after, and the day after that. Like a muscle, gratitude grows stronger the more you exercise it. And as it grows, your mental health grows with it. You begin to live in a mind that notices what is working, that trusts life is bigger than the stress, that refuses to be consumed by what's wrong. Gratitude is not denial. It's empowerment. It's not ignoring the pain. It's refusing to let the pain dominate the story. It's saying, I see the storm, but I also see the sun. And when you live like that, your mind finds stability, your heart finds peace, and your life finds momentum. Gratitude is the gateway. It opens the door to mental clarity, emotional strength, and a life that can withstand anything.